From Trinidad and Albania to real estate, Shaq and Kelly brings you Smart Money Approach. Hey everybody, what's up? Once again, this is your boy Shaq from Smart Money Approach. I'm here with my co-host
Kelly.
and today we got our first time live recording, even doing it through Instagram. We about to be having an interview with somebody who I knew back in the day. I wish he had said a bit more words to like get my head taken where it should have been back then, but it wasn't. So please come in and introduce yourself and let's tell the people who you are.
Javaun Mosley, 29 years old, from Lawton, Oklahoma. Um, I really really excited to be here and share some knowledge and all of that. It's an honor to be on the show. I try to get you on in Alaska, man. I try to put you on game back then. I'm glad I'm glad you finally started taking heed to it though, and I see you doing big things. I'm proud of y'all, both of y'all. Y'all are doing the damn thing.
Thank you. Yeah. So, tell us a bit about like what's your profession and what's your business. Like, talk to us a bit about that.
So my profession, I joined the Army in 2011, out of Oklahoma. I was in Colorado for 4 years, Alaska for three, and now I'm back in Oklahoma in my hometown. I've been here for about 2 years, uh, but I also do real estate investing and foreign exchange investing on the side. So those are my three, and I'm looking into getting into actual like brick and mortar businesses like clubs and all of that. That stuff will come later. But yeah, that's those are my streams of income right now.
Word. So, talk to me. How did you get into real like Forex first? Because I think you've been doing that for a bit longer, real estate, and I remember you hosting a couple of parties up there in Alaska as well.
Yeah, I was I got to Alaska and I wasn't never really been big on the club scene, but being there, not really having nowhere to take my wife and all of that stuff because it was pretty boring in Alaska. I Me and one of my homeboys, you remember Rashford?
Mhm.
He was like, man, we should start hosting events, parties with different themes to it. This was when we was in NTC too. Like we were on the way to go sign for Prepo vehicles, and I was like, man, I don't know about that. I mean, Alaska don't seem like there's a lot of money out there. When we got back, we went to the clubs and started asking, and we got turned away a lot. There was one club owner that was like, definitely, yeah, just let me know when and where and what y'all want to do. And we did it, and it popped, and Alaska loved it. We started hosting more events, and we were packing the club out, both floors. I was just amazed. But as far as foreign exchange, I started that literally on my birthday in 2015. It was January 4th, 2015. I had already been doing multi-level marketing and all of that. And I really got tired of the cold calling and having to email people and just spending so much time just to be told no.
Mm,
I was sacrificing my weekends. The Army takes most of your
exactly.
weekdays and if not your weekends. So I literally had no time for family. And I was like, there's gotta be a better way. And one of my mentors had posted a trade he made on the foreign exchange market, and it was like $800. So I hit him up. I was like, "What is that?" Foreign exchange, foreign exchange trading. I was like, "Send me a link." I looked into it. I started googling it, researching. I was on the road actually. I had been driving somewhere, but I remember I was in downtown Anchorage, and I called my wife. I was like, "Look, I'm about to leave multi-level marketing alone. This is where I'm going to put my time and efforts. All that time I was spending cold calling, emailing, and all of that stuff, I'm about to spend studying this foreign exchange market. I said, this is going to be my exit strategy out the army. I don't need nobody to sign up to make money. This is just me in the market. and I started doing it, and I started making a little money. Um, One thing about the foreign exchange, everybody seems like they are experts and all of that on Instagram, but once you actually get into, their strategy, if you know what you're doing, you have to really know what you're doing. But there's a lot of scammers out there. I want to put that out there with everything. There's a lot of scammers. There's not one industry that doesn't have, it's bad fruits. You know what I'm saying? But
Exactly.
I'm glad I didn't get discouraged because honestly, I've hopped on 3 different teams. The first couple ones were bad. They had me getting late entries. I wasn't making money like that, but I stayed determined. A lot of people would have quit, but I knew that it was there because a lot of people were making money with it. I just had to learn it. So when I finally found that strategy that worked, I just took off. I never looked back. I dedicated my weekends and all of that stuff. And now I'm mentoring people. So that's how the foreign exchange started.
Yeah.
Okay, dang.
You want to tell us a little bit like what was your motivation behind it, or like what drove you to go and do it?
Um, Being from where I'm from, I've always wanted to not go back, not have to stay here. I've always wanted to move away. I've always wanted more out of life, not just for me, but for my family, my mom, my wife, daughter, all of that stuff. They're ultimately my motivation. There's what keeps me going. Um, but also the my daughter's kids, something I can give to them
Mm-hmm.
and something they can work for. I don't want to spoil my daughter like to where she doesn't have to work for anything in her life, but I want her to not have to face the same challenges me and my wife did, growing up. There's still going to be expectations of hard work. Not everything is going to be handed out, but I want to be able to have doors open for her already, to where she don't have to, go through those struggles and hardships.
Exactly. To kind of touch on that as well, because that's the same thing I told Kelly here, that at a certain age, um, I want to take my daughter to go get her first car. I take her to this like parking lot, right? To where like she's gonna be looking here and there and just like watching around. It's like I want this one, I want that one, and I'll be like, okay, so how are we gonna make it? How are we
Yeah,
gonna get
exactly.
it, right? She'll be like, what? Yeah, like how are we gonna get to you to afford this car? What? You
Yeah,
know? And so like to really like from a young age get that mind tool and like, hey, like what do I have to do for myself in order for it to be paying for that vehicle and me not like spending no money at all behind it. And so glad that you mentioned that, just building that generational gap income, breaking the curse, they say, so to say, you know what I'm saying, really like severing it that way they won't have to go through like, dang, yep, I'm in the army right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. I don't know what I was signed up for, but hey, I'm rocking.
yeah,
I think
exactly,
you
exactly.
need to just like teach your kids also like what you're doing, except for just like handed it to them.
Exactly. Something that's tangible that they can use to apply at a very young age. If I would have known what I know now back then, I would be so much better off right now. But you got to go through life and trials and tribulations. And I wish I had met my mentors earlier. None of my mentors, I've never met any of my mentors in person, ever, not once. But I can call them and I can, reach out to them.
I feel you on that one. So you also mentioned that you dabble in real estate. Talk to us about that.
I've always wanted to get into real estate. Well, since I joined the military, Colorado Springs was one place I mentioned that I was stationed before, and I wish again that I knew what I knew back then, so I would have bought a house out there. And I thought about it, but the big figures scared me. I was into this is when I was thinking about becoming an entrepreneur. So the big figures scared me. Like, golly, that's a lot of money. I'm just a private in the army. I don't know if I can afford this. And I haven't grown up completely. spending money on stupid stuff like going out and all of that. So I honestly could have done it, but I really got into real estate in Alaska. Is when I was like, all right, now I'm gonna do it. There was a quadplex that was being built, and it was actually a neighborhood in Wasilla, not far from Anchorage.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a new area. A realtor took me out there because one of my homeboys put me on to him. He took me out there, and he was like, look, this is your lot. You can put 4 houses on here. You can move into one, rent the other 3 out. Your mortgage is paid for, and you're pocketing money. I said, I want to do that. And it was it was a few hundred too that I would have been pocketing. It was like $300 to $600 I would have been pocketing every month. I told my wife about it, and she wasn't comfortable with it because she wasn't into, we didn't have the same mindset. So, and she also never wanted to come back to Alaska. So she was like, this isn't a good move. And long story short, I listened to her. I wish I hadn't, and she wished now that she hadn't said that because she's starting to, open her own business and all of that stuff. So she wished I had invested in that property in Alaska. But I got here to Oklahoma, back where my family is, and I decided to get into real estate by helping my family out. So I bought my aunt a house in Oklahoma City. She lives in it now. I'm not making money off of her at all. It's not one cent of profit. But I've used that experience to show my family this is what we could do, to start another stream of income, and it really opened their eyes. Now they're more open to it. So our next house is going to be, a investment property, and we're going to start building our foundation. And I'm very excited. I'm actually looking for a house now.
That's what's up. Yeah. So I have a similar Alaska story. Like basically, since back in high school, like about to graduate, doing this, doing that, and me and my best friend was always talking about, right, we got to do this, we got to do it, but like we never took action. And Alaska was the first time an opportunity came across, and it was this quadruplex out there in wasn't name of the neighborhood. It wasn't like quite in Anchorage, but like it was right across from Basio. I can't even remember the space, but it was like this old, really blue, like beat up.
I know exactly where you're talking about.
Yep. There was
somebody else I was talking to that was looking at. I think it was Capelli. I think he was looking.
He got it. That. I believe he got it. Yo, he picked it up, yo, and I heard about it, and I was like, yo, what was I thinking? Like, why did I pull the trigger? But yeah, yo, I definitely took that as a learning experience. But talk to us, yo. Tell us how has your life in the military affected your investing? You mentioned it earlier to where like you say the military already take like so much of our day, and then like we get up and we like go into our actual business. How has that stressor been for you? How have you been able to like level it out?
Well, it's hindered it some, but it's helped it more than it has hurt it. Again, military takes the bulk of your time and your energy. When you get home, you don't really feel like doing anything. And like I told you before, that's what separates the boys from the men who really want it and who don't. Like I get off at 7, 8 o'clock, and I come home and I'm working on my Forex class. I'm doing market analysis. I'm doing CMAs on houses and all of that stuff. And if I really didn't want it, I would come up with excuses like, "Oh, I'm too tired," or I'll just do it tomorrow. I'll put it off. But being in the military has helped me a lot as far as mindsets. Because I came in wanting to do 20 years because of the lifestyle I was living before the military. And once I found out that there was more to life than just a 9 to 5, the Army had already enhanced my mindset and my drive. Because I was working multiple hours a day, and sometimes late nights and all of that stuff. So it wasn't nothing for me to apply those same skills to my entrepreneurship. But it also is helped me because my credit score and I can get approved for loans and stuff like that. It's a win. It's a win-win to me, honestly, because I mean, like I said, if I do get weekends off, like now I have a 4-day weekend. I get Monday and Friday off, so I can put that towards my class and stuff like that. Most people don't get like 3 or 4 day weekends like that. They just get maybe 2 days a week out of every week.
Yeah.
I think it helps.
Being in the military too, I can definitely kind of not kind of definitely understand that fully. Like I was telling Kelly, the military has really allowed me to become more disciplined, which is helping me tremendously right now in sticking to what I'm trying to do. And not just that, but you Kelly could probably like run the straight AAR right now because every week we basically run one. Like, hey, what did we do? How could we get better? What do we not want to repeat? Yeah, so yeah, like the military has definitely helped me transferring over some of the life skills they have taught me into what I'm trying to accomplish right now. Really, talk to us about if you could meet yourself graduating high school, like you somehow can travel back in time, what would you tell your younger self, at that age, knowing like your mindset at that time? What 5 minutes of game would you spit to yourself?
First would be forget friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stick with my wife was my girlfriend at the time. Stick with her, right? Y'all build together. Second thing would be find out what this Forex thing is. Because I didn't find out until like a few years later. There's a thing called the Forex. Find out what it is and learn it. And then get into real estate. Those would be my 4 or 5 things.
Yeah.
I really wish I could go back in time.
We talked about the book like Rich Dad Poor Dad. Is there any other books that you've read or any other platforms that you use to learn more about real estate or investments?
I learned about 401k and the IRA reading this book called Mastering the Game of Money by Tony Robbins. That was a very good book. I actually talked to my mom and my grandma about their 401ks and all of that. What he did was he went to the moguls of investing, all the big wigs, and he had a one-on-one conversation with them and asked them basically if you could make it more affordable for people to invest. Like he put it in perspective as their kids though. If you could get your kids into investing or give them a piece of advice of what to do without it being so expensive, what would you do? And they basically laid it out. And he took all of those resources, made them affordable for people, like went to Charles Schwab and be like, can you do what's the word I'm looking for? Not a consultation, a quote, or basically where you have a one-on-one with them for free. Can you do that for free and then lower your minimum requirement for somebody to start investing and opening an account with you? And he said, yeah. Like he did this with a lot of different companies. Like now people can get into investing with just $500. And another thing he did, he went to a company, I think it was America's Best 401k or something like that. And what you can do is give this company another consultation, give this company your 401k information and all of that stuff, the company name and all of that. They'll do a basically a scrub of your 401k and let you know where all your hidden fees are, how much if you stay with this company, when you turn 60 or 65, this is how much money you will owe this company. So a lot of people invest and they got like $700,000 in a 401k or more, and they think that they're going to get it, but really they're only getting like 40% of it because of all the hidden fees. That book blew my mind. And I also have another book. I just bought this one right here. Digital Millionaire Secrets, How to Sell Courses and all of that stuff. I'm getting into that one because of my foreign exchange class that I'm giving. And I got a few more books at the house. What's another one? I don't know. There's so many, man. I love reading now. I don't read as much as I used to, but it is a thing. You have to read. You have to.
Exactly. And once again, for those out there listening, if you're not an avid reader, there are audio books. You know what I'm saying? You listen to music probably half the time. Just pop in an audio book for our day. It's gonna blow your mind, Joe. So where can anybody reach you on any platform out there, whether it's Instagram, Facebook? Where can we tell people to, hey, go visit you and kind of to learn more about you, or probably even get into what you're doing right now?
Well, I'm on Facebook, Javaun Mosley, JAVAUN I'm also on Instagram at MogulWise. It's MOGUL_WISE. Those are my two main ones. I also have branched off for like 10 Toes Up. I started for the Forex and all of that, but they'll see all of that stuff once they get to my Instagram and all of that. But y'all are doing big things, man. I'm proud of y'all.
Yeah. So we're also gonna plug in like most of what we spoke about, and then also all your links and your contacts down in the description. So whenever people go like listen to it or watch a video, they can just click on it and take you right to your page as well. Yeah. So we really appreciate you coming on here, giving us the time. We definitely see you're a busy man as well. But yeah. So thank you so much, and thank you for staying